And that was it. That was your life. It may last 20 seconds like this match here, 50 years, 80, or 100 years if you are very lucky. You have a beginning and an end. And whatever you do in between, that is your life. The difference between you and this match is that you have dreams, while this match is just standing here, burning out and perishing. And you, are you fighting for your dreams? Or are you slowly burning out until you perish? There is nothing that defines you better than your dreams. They are the connection between you and your genuine instincts. It is you in front of your fears, you without shackles, you and what you deeply desire and aim for. Yet, most of people are afraid to pursue their dreams. Why is that? I believe it's because the word dream has been corrupted. Movies, songs, books, they all talk about dreams as the ultimate life goal and purpose. So when we think of a dream, we see something massive, about the greatest accomplishment one can make, or in case of failing, one of the biggest disgraces. I believe splitting your dreams into specific and feasible challenges is a great way to make your dreams happen, whatever they may be. The thing is that dreaming brings you into a sort of a passive state of beautiful observation. When you dream, you observe. When you are under challenge, you take action, now. And then two amazing things happen. The first one is that you learn a lot during the process, not only by acquiring knowledge and expertise, but you learn a lot about yourself. The second thing that happens is yet more fascinating. You are entertained. You are passionate every day with finding ways of overcoming the challenge. The way I'm presenting it here, it may sound as a game of words, but it's way more than that. It's the difference between holding a passive or a constructive attitude towards life. I'm Miguel, and in the past 10 years, I traveled over 80 countries making movies and social projects. I bet you think, what a life, how lucky. In truth, I wasn't anyone special, but I was able to transform situations with an approach that served me time and time again to follow my dreams. A mindset I've also seen to prove successful in the decisions of outstanding individuals whose path crossed mine. I gave myself the professional nickname Mr. Challenge because I learned both from my own experiences and from countless inspiring people I met on my way that no matter who you are or how adverse life circumstances may seem to you, it is that mixture of courage and constructive attitude which helps you find solutions to difficulties and thus to pursuing your dreams. When I was a teenager, my dream was to become air traffic controller. It's a job with a high degree of responsibility, not so many working hours, and yes, quite a good salary as well. In other words, the kind of job a mother wants for her son. Back then, to become a controller, it was required to hold a degree. But when I completed my studies in computer engineering, there was no call for the exam yet. So I applied for a grant to go to Peru as renewable energies engineer. True, I had no ideas at all about the renewable energies, but I really wanted to go to South America. With 22, I volunteered at a local NGO in Peru, and I met people who invest their time and energy in helping others. I was fascinated by it. Their dream is nothing less than to create a better world, something technically impossible for one single person to achieve. Yet, the fight is worth it for them. How they do it? They tackle feasible challenges by turning the immense dream of a better world into a specific challenge of helping their community. I ended up making in Peru my first 2 documentary movies, directing a crew which knew way more than me about anything related to filmmaking. I wanted to make more documentaries, but I had no money and no camera. So there was just one option, to volunteer. I went to Croatia, volunteered at the local NGO, where I worked on a documentary project about the role of mothers during the war of Yugoslavia. The main character was Maria, and her dream was to release her underage son from the Yugoslavian army in war times. That was an insane dream for her to chase, but she didn't think of it. I was amazed by her fearless determination, which made me understand how powerful it is to be convinced of what you want. One day, for instance, she woke up with a resolution that talking to the Pope would serve her cause. She literally walked all the way from Croatia to the Vatican and was received by the Pope. Maria ended up leading a movement of mothers across the 6 former Yugoslavian republics, supporting each other to protect their sons over war and nationalisms. My dream of fighting for a better world by making documentary movies about inspiring stories allowed me to meet incredible people. Then I realized that those who achieve their dreams and attain the extraordinary are just normal people without fear. With 24, I moved in Canada for half a year. Once, while riding on the public train in Toronto, I picked up a newspaper abandoned on the seat next to me, and I found an article listing the top 10 immigrants of the year. It caught my eye that 9 were businessmen. There was just one woman, and she was an art director. Isabel was from Chile and left for Canada when she was 17 with $50 in her pocket to pursue her dream to become an actress. She didn't even speak English back then. Now directs an outstanding foundation in Ontario to support Latin artists. The fact that she turned her dream to become an actress into the challenge of going to Canada was the beginning of her success. I got in touch with her, and we finally met. She told me she was very surprised to receive my message. They had worked with the same videographer for 10 years, and he just left a week earlier. Voila, I found my first job as a filmmaker. I spent half a year working next to Isabel and to other inspiring people who were not afraid to chase their dream. In Canada, I learned that you are not the same person you were 10 years ago, and you will not be the same person in another 10 years. And the difference lies mostly in the people you spend time with. It's pretty easy, yet really crucial. Basically, you can choose the people you spend time with to shape yourself. What would you like to improve about yourself? Would you like to become funnier and more joyful? Then spend time with amusing people. Would you like to fight for your dreams? Then surround yourself by people making their dream happen. After Canada, it finally happened. The exam for air traffic controller came. There hadn't been one in 6 years, and thousands of people applied to grab one of the few positions offered. I prepared myself, and I passed. Mother was so proud. However, at the same time, I received a grant of €120 to go study arts in Indonesia, where I could perhaps make another documentary movie, even though I didn't even have a camera yet. Now, I had to decide between choosing to become what I always dreamed of and had achieved after years of effort, or go to Indonesia and see what happens. I will only say that my choice pissed off my mother very badly. It was the turning point of my life, and not just because it was the decision that shaped my philosophy and way of life, but for the lessons I learned. I realized how making far-fetched plans means a compromise for the future. Does it sound familiar to you? You plan something for tomorrow, forgetting that today you are not the same person as you will be tomorrow. Everyone around was congratulating me for getting a job which set up my life, while there I was, 25 and feeling like wandering the world and making movies. Then I understood how pointless are long-term dreams that you only enjoy if you achieve them. To me, it's pointless to invest so much time and energy in a possibility which may offer you glory someday. I concluded that dreams worth fighting for are those that you can either achieve in a short term or enjoy every day while you chase them, regardless of whether you accomplish them or not. I had my first serious dream ahead. I went to Indonesia with a €120 grant, no camera, and a very pissed-off mother. Once in Indonesia, my first challenge was to get the camera. The university director, a stylish middle-aged woman, from the first moment told me, forget it, that's impossible. There was just one camera, and it belonged to the research lab. I had previously read that her father was the founder of the university, and when I saw my whole plan falling apart, I told her that it was a pity we could not make this happen because I was sure her father would be so proud of linking this university to a great social movie that would be seen around the world. Her eyes wide open, she picked up the phone. A few seconds later, a guy showed up, and she told him, give him what he needs. I got the camera, and I made 2 more documentary movies. One of them about Carlos, a Spanish lawyer who left everything behind to start an NGO at the remote island where he takes care of abandoned children on the beach. 3 years later, he was the first foreigner to be awarded as Indonesian national hero. Then I felt I had fulfilled my promise to a director. I'm sure her father would be proud of her for lending me that camera. That made me learn a very valuable lesson. If you know what people in front of you dream of, you can do a lot with it. In this case, I use it on my favor to get the camera I needed to start making movies, but take it to your own personal life. How often do you ask to your parents, your friends, or your partner, what do you dream of? Do you actively support your beloved ones to fight for their dreams? You love them, and you know their dreams is what they are most eager about. There you have a meaningful way to be by their side. After Indonesia, I found an organization offering a travel to a sanctuary in Thailand in exchange for completing an online meditation program. I had not meditated in my entire life, but come on, a free trip to Thailand. I completed the program and spent 2 weeks meditating at a stunning island. Meditation, that was another turning point. And with it, another dream came my way. What an artist normally wishes is to be unique. And I always thought there is no better way to be unique than by being yourself, which is precisely what happens when you meditate a lot. You connect with your true self. I ended up directing a meditation retreat for artists in Thailand and traveling the world with a Buddhist monk documenting his meditation lectures. The Buddhist monk taught me that our mind is like a glass of water with sand in it, where stress is like a spoon stirring the glass with the water and the sand together. He illustrated meditation as taking the spoon out of the glass so the sand settles and the water becomes crystal clear again. From a combination of what I saw during my travels and by acquiring meditation as a regular habit, my dream became solely to be happy. And every day presents a new challenge. Ever since, when I wake up and I'm lying in bed, I ask to myself, what am I going to do today so I'll be happy? My two main interests back then were meditation and documentaries. It became a beautiful dream to make a movie in Tibet to portray their beautiful culture and to fight for its preservation by exposing the abuse of the Chinese government. I was aware it was quite a difficult dream, so I came up with a specific challenge. I thought, if I traveled 30 days through remote areas of Tibet by walk and hitchhiking, I would probably have great content to make a movie. After 4 days, I arrived at the first Tibetan town. Out of curiosity, many Tibetans surrounded me, which caught the attention of a dozen Chinese police agents who arrested me and took me to a hotel. They set an officer to guard the main door and commanded me to take the first bus in the morning back to inland China. Now, here's the difference. If my mindset was, okay, I'm in Tibet, following the dream to make a movie, then I would have gone to bed thinking, that's fine. I will make it other time. I would have postponed it because I had my entire life in front of me to fulfill it. Most likely, I would have never gone back to Tibet, and I would have convinced myself it was a stupid dream to chase. Instead, I was not there following a dream, but I was under challenge, which means if I give up, I lose. I was afraid, but I was feeling fire inside, not to give up, to carry on with the challenge, with my dream. I remained alert throughout the night until the guard momentarily left his post, so I took the opportunity to escape the hotel by the window and run away through the bushes. I ended up traveling Tibet during 30 days without even a phone until the Chinese police finally caught me and sent me back. When I came back home, as I expected, I did have great footage, and again, a very angry mother. I produced a documentary, Still Tibet, which led to traveling the world, attending film festivals, and even winning some awards. Sometimes, when you have a dream, you may feel you have too big of a task in front of you and your whole life in front of you to fulfill it. That, my friends, is the perfect formula for laziness. Whilst when you are under challenge, the game is on, right now. In the Tibet documentary, I took what it seemed as an impossible dream, and by turning it into a specific challenge I could fulfill, I made my dream happen. But how often happened to you that you tell your dream to somebody and they label you as crazy, your own friends and relatives? Dreams are so deep and personal that no one can really understand what they mean to you. That's why it's so hard to fight for them. You will often feel misunderstood and discouraged. But if you are really sure about what drives you and you don't listen to your pessimistic friends, you will be in position to do what it takes to achieve your goals. And this is a lesson I learned after 2 years working as videographer for the best women's cycling team. As in many other disciplines, the gap between males and females is gigantic. Back then, the best female was earning 50 times less than the best male cyclist. Just a few women get to win the Giro d'Italia or an Olympic medal. Yet, for hundreds of them, it makes total sense to train 5 hours a day and spend months away from home, regardless of whether they ever win a race or not. By then, I understood that there is nothing impossible until you are completely sure you've tried everything. And this is a fundamental insight when pursuing your dreams. The simple fact of trying your best is already a victory. One thing I learned along my travels is that dreams rely very much on cultural background. People's needs and ambitions are totally different around the world. Once, I stayed a few days with a tribe of reindeer herders in Mongolia. They took me to meet the oldest member of the tribe, a very old lady who was sitting on her feet and was blind. She touched me very carefully, especially my face, and then asked if she could ask just one question. Can you guess what it was? She asked very gently, "Where do you come from? From where the sun sets or from when the sun rises?" I replied, "I come from where the sun sets," and I left carrying one of the most powerful lessons I've learned. Mongolia taught me that happiness is simple. That's why it's so complicated. What is left of us if we avoid listening to that little inner voice? You don't choose a dream, you discover it. Whatever it is, it makes sense to you because it's your dream. And it doesn't have to be anything extraordinary like winning a gold medal, be a rock star, or becoming an air traffic controller. It can be something simple, yet efficient for you, such as learning to play an instrument, having a nice garden, or spending nice quality time with your family. Nothing happens as you wish, and that is actually your fortune. What life would be without that feeling of uncertainty? Along my journey, I've learned that with regards to happiness, it has nearly no impact what you achieve. What counts is your attitude. You become what you dream and the way you fight for it. So, what can you do? Stop challenging yourself, stop dreaming, and turn your dreams into challenges. Run away from gurus and list with tips to be happy, and get closer to whatever inspires you to know and value yourself, to explore your motivation. You could stay there motionless, pretending you are immortal and postponing for later what you aspire to. Or you could raise up, live every day as a challenge, and embark yourself on a true adventure of following your dreams. So when this life comes to an end, you will be able to say that this was a life worth living. Ευχαριστώ πάρα πολύ.